Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. I can't believe this stuff's on the internet. Bookmarked. Bookmarked. Definitely bookmarked. I just hope nobody catches me.
Josh, is this what I think it is?
No.
Move your
It's
arms.
not what you.
Move your arms right now or I rip them off. Pokemon card websites. Again, Josh. You're such a goof.
I'm sorry. That was a close one.
Josh.
What?
Can I watch?
You're Reggie Rocket with my nonsense and hopeless poke projects. You won't stop till you're about to the top with all the hot dips. Hit with the metagame train, the reigning top kid's at the top of his game, and you can't hit on top this. You want the best tricks? I suggest you profit. You want a mess split? I suggest you profit. Once we started rolling, you know you can't stop it. Let's go and get some lessons from JWittz and Profit. Yeah. What's up, Poke community? Greetings from NIU. JWittz here, busting out the 3rd episode of Profit. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching, subscribing, and hitting that star all the way to the right. I couldn't keep going if it wasn't for all the great comments you guys leave. Keep spreading the word, and I'll keep getting better. So, as most of you know, today is about using the internet as a Pokemon trading card game resource. It's gonna be a big episode, and I hope I fit everything in. Let's get right to it. Pojo's unofficial Pokemon magazine. The start of it all. As I mentioned before, there was a day when people would give their limbs and kidneys for Pokemon stuff. So when I saw Charizard ripping his face out of my local Walmart's magazine department, I pulled my mom over immediately. I had to have it. Had to. You don't understand, Mom. It's Pokemon. Well, to put a long story short, this magazine was a gold mine. Strategy, pricing guides, card scans, this magazine had it all. On one of the pages, I found a little text telling me to go to pojo.com for even more strategy. I was around 10 and I had just figured out how to use the internet. I took Pojo's advice immediately. And I found what I expected. Pokemon trading card game gold. Articles, card of the day. Pojo offered everything a Pokemon player could have ever dreamed of. I read the website every single day and found out some of the most helpful deck lists of all time seen on the internet. I refreshed Pojo at an hourly basis, and it basically taught me how to improve from terrible to awesome in a matter of months. Well, when I got back into the game, I found something sad. Pojo didn't have the amount of written involvement as it once had. Instead of 5 to 10 people doing card of the day reviews, it had maybe 1 to 3. The weekly articles seemed to be for the most part missing. It was sad to see that the online Pokemon articles weren't as popular anymore. Or so I thought. Actually, in the past decade, Pokemon on the internet is stronger than ever. I guess over the test of time, most of Pojo's strongest writers either flocked to other sites or stopped writing as intensively altogether. Does that mean Pojo is a worthless site now? I wouldn't say so. It just needs a little more involvement. After all, as my buddy Monster of the Lake and I noted, 4 of our past 6 Pokemon card game world champions, counting Jason Klikinski twice, all wrote articles for Pojo at one point in their life. That's a pretty ridiculous track record if you ask me. So, where did all the concentrated Pokemon genius spread out to? The first site I came across was Pokegym.net. So, what can you find at Pokegym? Basically everything. It will seriously overwhelm someone new to the concept of internet forums. It is, for the most part, a Pokemon forum that encompasses basically every single question or facet of the Pokemon card game you'd ever want. I don't know exactly how many members there are in all, but the most online at a single moment was 888. That alone is plenty of users to encompass an entire online community, let alone a single day. They have a nifty list of every single playable card, all on the same page, updated pretty regularly. You can sort them, read them, or just look at the pretty pictures. There's also a section where you can go to post your deck and seek constructive advice for it. I highly recommend this if you're a new player seeking to make a competitive deck. You can ask the professors if you have a difficult rule, and you and your friends just can't determine what happens. Yes, Electivire X's Pulse Barrier still gets a protective effect if you discard your opponent's Stadium card in play and they still have Unknown G attached, but if they don't have a Stadium card in play and you attack a Pokemon and they only have Unknown G attached, then the effect of Unknown G will prevent Pulse Barrier's effect and you can only do the damage. And that's why I love this section. You can check to see what's winning in the latest tournament. It's a good way to know what decks are solid, or to figure out what decks you're gonna have to beat. You can also trade cards online, for those times when you just don't know enough people, or don't want to buy the stuff online. It's about as reliable as eBay, using a similar reference system to determine who sends first. I've heard some horror stories about lost cards, but I've had a 99% reliable time with the system myself. Check it out. So, what's bad about the gym? Plenty of things. But to put it in short, sometimes it's quantity over quality. You have lots of poor advice and poor articles to sift through before you really get to the best stuff. And sometimes the lack of intelligence of the massive community can be a little bit frustrating. But overall, it's still the biggest community and one of the best resources. I could talk about the gym all day. There are a bunch of features and 100 other things about the gym that make it one of the best Pokemon sites out there, but I gotta move on. So, if you liked Pokegym, then you'll like Pokebeach.com just as much. Maybe more. To start things off, Pokebeach has a forum that is massive and has all the same features as the gym. There are 12,000 active members, and the max members at once equals almost 500. Just slightly smaller than the gym, and it offers a bigger PM box and custom avatars. As I said, if you ended up liking the gym, you'll like the beach just fine. But I use the beach for a completely different reason. 1. News. Pokebeach updates its front page almost daily with Pokemon news of all sorts. Check it out. Did you know that you can get these promos at your local league? That there's a new Pokemon game for Wii in Japan where you play as Pikachu? Or that our next set is going to feature the Gold and Silver games? Well, now you do. 2. They have high quality scans of every set, including translations of the future sets in Japan. This is really helpful if you want to prepare in advance for the future English sets. And you know I do. So, seeing as I'm discussing all these Pokemon sites, it's probably most appropriate that I talk about the official Pokemon trading card game website, go-pokemon.com. Yeah, you need the dash. So Go-Pokemon is the official Pokemon website, and I'll warn you now, don't use it for the strategy articles. Energize your game with lightning Pokemon. Make your opponents talk in their sleep. These articles are intended for kids, but I argue if you're smart enough to read, you're smart enough to get the very best tips of the game. Avoid the strategy. Really, the only thing you'll use this site for is learning where your closest leagues and tournaments are. Plus, you can learn stuff like the prices offered for tournaments and such. It's not the best strategy site, but chances are you'll have to go to it. So now I want to talk about a site that's pretty dear to my heart. It's only about 4 months old, but it's my personal favorite Pokemon trading card game site, Sixprizes.com. So what is it? Articles, articles, articles. Deck analysis, card of the day, strategy articles? Does this sound familiar to you guys? That's right, it's Pojo all over again. At least, what it felt like to me. Sixprizes is booming like crazy, getting new contributions all the time. Anybody can write an article, it just has to pass the quality test. This site is well organized, and you can click all these tabs in the top if you want to sort things by specific article type. The only thing this site needs is more people, and that's where you come in. Help Sixprizes continually expand. I highly recommend Sixprizes. It's definitely worth your time. And the last site I want to talk to you about is definitely offbeat from the rest of the bunch. Heytrainer.org. All these sites feature some kind of editing, filter, or overall moderation that might drive the older players a little bit crazy. Well, if you feel under the pressure of the moderators, Heytrainer.org is the place for you. Heytrainer offers minimal censorship and free expression to anyone who joins the forum. Pokemon strategy ranges from hardcore to super goofy, and everyone on the forum seems to be very well spoken and humorous. If you want something very different from the usual, and a couple of good laughs to boot, Heytrainer is the place for you. It's the newest site of them all, and thus the smallest, and it could always use unique and fun members that don't take offense at a little swearing. Have fun! And that's all I gotta say about the biggest Pokemon websites available to the public. These are all fantastic resources for the new player, and I can definitely say they've contributed to my success as a player. Check them all out. Well worth your time. Just for fun, what do each of these websites think of my show, Profit? Well, Pojo deleted my post into thin air without warning me. Pokegym blocked my post without relocating it for me. Pokebeach lets me post with no problems. Sixprizes started promoting my videos on the site for everyone to see after I showed them to the maker. And Heytrainer started a topic about me before I even knew the site existed. It doesn't necessarily weigh on how I feel about each site, but it's definitely something to look at. And that's all we got for this week of Profit. Be sure to tune in next week for another deck analysis. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.